Joining us now is Michael Chelst, owner of Char Bar, Washington, D.C. Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
Okay, tell me please how you reacted when you heard that your restaurant was vandalized on the anniversary of Kristallnacht.
Yeah, I guess my first reaction was like, really? Like, just like, what for? Like, this is just stupid. It's just like, you know, not going to accomplish anything. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to make people annoyed, waste resources, when there's bigger issues to be doing in this world. And, that was my first reaction. And then probably my second reaction was just making sure that my staff and the customers would feel safe and secure and not worry about being part of what we're doing here in DC.
What did you actually see when you got to the restaurant?
So there were two what people were like, I would call them bricks, but they're really actually as I've done more homework, it looks like they were probably granite, like granite uh, bricks like a granite table or something like that. Two of them, and they were thrown at two windows next to each other, possibly by two different people on there. They're not the type of stone that you would see in a work environment or anywhere around there. They're pretty specialized. They weren't your typical ones, and they, destroyed the glass, smashed the glass, shattered the glass to a large degree, and we boarded it up, and no one came inside, and that's the extent of it.
Is it scary? After all, it's coming from pure hate.
Yeah, I mean it's scary to me. I'm not a fearful person. Oh, they're not. I wear my religion proud, but it is concerning that it reminds me of things that are happening all over the country, all over the world, and it reminds me that every little thing you never know what the next time will be. This time, these people were cowards and they did it in the middle of the night, on there on a Friday night when they knew we were closed, and at that point in time, but unfortunately, other people aren't so cowardly on there, and it could have been much more serious and dangerous. And you have to take it always seriously because you never know what's next.
Now, generally speaking, are you living today with the awareness that these things can happen in your city? Anti-Semitism?
Yeah, I mean it's something that you can't go. We're a 5-minute walk from George Washington University that had extensive protests and stuff related to to Gaza and different things, and you see it all around the city where people have like put stickers of hate, from the river to the sea, and they spray paint it all over the place, and so you see it on there out there, but you don't always you don't always think about it, that it's just some word somewhere else. But when it comes to your place, it starts to hit home a little bit differently. As an owner of a kosher restaurant, and seeing what things have happened in other ones around the world, I certainly am not surprised, unfortunately, that this happened. It's disheartening, but it's not like this is not something that's happening too often, and we added ourselves, in the list of people who are being directly affected by it.
I understand that Char Bar was targeted in a similar attack in June 2020.
We had another incident that wasn't, to me, as definitive to say that was 100%, an anti-Semitic, hateful thing. But we had during at least when I say it was during the BLM, Black Lives Matters riots that was going on throughout the city, even though they weren't in our area and nobody else on our block. Like, again, I've been there for 8 years, and we have a long block, and there's a lot of businesses there, and I've never once heard of or seen any kind of vandalism on our street ever. We've been twice. This is the second time. The other time, like I said, was on those riots. It was the only building that was hit, but it was, people were rioting about stuff, and the topic wasn't necessarily, anti-Semitism. So I can't say what it was for sure, but it certainly was suspicious of a hate crime at the time. But we kind of just let it go, so to speak, reported it, but didn't really necessarily, demanded to be treated as a hate crime, where this was clearly on the eve of Kristallnacht and at a time where there's a Jewish rally, today, on there, and the Federation is meeting, and again, plenty of other places that they could have chosen, and took rocks that were not clearly they had to have transported them from a distance within DC or outside of DC, and someone drove or down there and made that decision to attack the restaurant.
Michael, let's end with a few words about your restaurant. Some may be surprised that it's the only kosher restaurant in the capital of the United States.
Well, we're the only waiter waitress service. There's at the university, and there's another place also. It's a fast casual place as well. But we are the only real gathering place for people in downtown DC to do so, and it's a responsibility. And that's why what I love about it. I would say dual career. I've got like 4 different careers that I do, and this for me is a passion project. This is my relationship, and we are serving 10,000 students on 8th grade school trips from, I think the furthest school comes from Sao Paulo, Brazil every year, all the way to senators, congressmen, and things on the Hill that we're dealing with on a regular basis, and business people in between. So we really do try to meet the needs of the people coming and visiting DC, as well as to provide some support as well, food support, of course, for people here, whether it's through the hospitals that we deal with or other people that need stuff, or the local community as well.
And when Israeli delegations come in, the many who observe kashrut come to Char Bar.
Yeah, we've had a lot. I mean, I'm very proud to say that we had a dinner of members of Knesset on there, and we, with the exception of the Arab parties and 1 or 2 of the Haredi parties that were out there, every other party in the Knesset all had members for an event that was here, and all sat and joined at a table having dinner together. And so, they probably would not have been seen together in Israel, and I won't mention that too much more. But so yeah, we have all kinds of events. We've done events. We had I think this summer we had Ted Cruz a couple times over. We had an event with a lot of events when the Abraham Accords were coming into play. We had an event when they were honoring Anwar Sadat posthumously, where we had the Egyptian ambassador host an event at our restaurant with other political leaders and stuff like that. We get calls from Politico magazine. Why is so and so here in the restaurant, or things like that. So we're blessed. It's a fun place. One of our real focuses is making the restaurant something that is high quality enough that anybody is comfortable bringing someone who is not of kosher or Jewish background, and that they can really have a nice dinner with them. We have 2 private rooms on there, in which plenty of time having Secret Service coming through, and we have a room that seats 40 people, another room that seats 14, as well as the main dining room. So we're really able to try to accommodate special needs and special requests and things that are going on. And we represent DC, and we're proud of the quality of our product on there and the efforts that we put. It is a passion, and it's something we work on really hard, because we need to have a quality environment for our kosher community to share with themselves, family, and other people that they're doing work with.
Okay, Michael Chelst, owner of Char Bar, thank you very much for joining us.
And I just want to add that I appreciate all of what you guys are doing. I'm a great avid reader of Arutz Sheva on there 3-4 times a day, following, unfortunately, all the troubles in Israel. So as much as it's here, what we're dealing with here is so small compared to the stuff that you guys face, and keep up the great work as well. Thank you.